What is up, you guys? Welcome back. This time I got cold cup of low. I recently discovered that Starbucks has caramel macchiato in the refrigerator section at the grocery store, so this is the bomb. Pretty stoked. I wanted to jump on here and talk a little bit today about boundaries, about the glow up, about haterade, about people coming out of the woodwork, energy, law of vibration, all sorts of interesting stuff. So after my last video was posted, I had some very interesting responses. Mostly everybody was super supportive and obviously, you know, disappointed to hear some of the news, but at the same time excited about all of the changes and all of the positive things that we have going on as we go forward into 2020. The first thing is, let's talk about the glow up, because this is a very real thing. It's, I think on some level we kind of make fun of it, and that's okay. People kind of tease about the glow up, but it's super real. I guess the question is, what's the glow up? Like, what is it all about? To me, this whole idea of glow up is changing the wavelength that we're vibrating on. And if you know about the law of attraction, then you really know about the law of vibration. And I learned about this from a book that's called Ask and It Is Given. I'll drop a link below for that. Awesome book. Awesome book. And they use the analogy of like radio wavelength. So if I'm wanting to listen to 99.5, but I set the radio dial to 1017, I'm obviously not going to get 99.5 in return, right? I'm going to get 1017. So the whole point is, if I want 99.5, I'm going to set my vibration and my wavelength to 99.5. Therefore, I'll receive 99.5. Okay, I think we're good with the radio analogy at this point. So really, that's the whole law of vibration, is what do you want and how do you align with what you want to receive? It happens subconsciously. It happens consciously as well, but most of the time it's happening subconsciously. It's just kind of that like background noise that's always kind of circling through our mind. The glow up happens when all of a sudden we are super aligned. We have this great trajectory ahead of us. We're making huge progress. We're less stressed or managing our stress better, and that internal dialogue is usually pretty positive, because then we're putting out there all this positive energy, positive vibrations, and we're getting that in return. So that's the glow up. That's the sitch there. Two things typically happen in my assessment when we are in this glow up stage. The first is you get people that all of a sudden are coming out of the woodwork. People you haven't heard from in 5, 10, 15 years. People who were, you know, maybe you had a crush on them and now all of a sudden they're reaching out to you. Like, there are all sorts of weird stuff that happens, but it's this people being attracted to you. You may not even have known them before, but all of a sudden you're just vibrating at this wavelength that's very, very attractive to people. So that's the first thing that can happen. The second thing that can happen is, and I see this most often with people not in that super close friend group, but like 1, maybe 2 rings kind of removed from that super tight group, and that is the haterade. So that's really coming from a place of, I hate to say the word, but jealousy, and then a lack of understanding. A lack of understanding for why the glow up's happening and how, and all the things kind of around that. Sometimes they may not feel like you deserve it. Sometimes they may feel like they are the ones that are undeserving. So it's this weird projecting that people do of like, well, if I'm not worthy of it, therefore you're not worthy of it. So how is that fair? A lot of things happening. And to be honest, this is 100% happening in my life now and over the last few months. I think now is a good opportunity to transition into this idea of boundaries, and especially during the holidays, boundaries within our close friends and our family. So you've got this glow up that's happening, you've got this vibrational energy that's lifted, and all of a sudden now you're going into holidays with people who may or may not be able to respect your boundaries, or may not even know what your boundaries are at all. It's super important for you to protect the glow up that you have boundaries. I said that in a really weird way. So it's super important for you to establish and maintain your boundaries in order for you to continue that glow up. Because at this point now we're protecting your energy and we're protecting your vibrations. Getting really clear on what that boundary is, that's step one. That's just first and foremost, we gotta get clear on what the boundary is. For me, there's a lot of boundaries around communication and how we speak with one another, the methods that are used, who's included on those communications, that sort of thing. In navigating this whole, co-parenting situation, it's super important to me when we have like family text messages that both parents are included, myself and the girl's dad are included on all of those messages. Learning that, and that's something that I learned tonight, was super important to me. It's not always cut and dry, you're not always going to know well in advance, but you learn it, you figure it out about yourself, and then you communicate it as you go forward. So that's pretty much my cup of low for today. I think that as these like thoughts and ideas come into my head, I'm just gonna set up this camera and I'm gonna record videos. Like, that's just how it's gonna have to be right now. The last few weeks have been a total shitstorm for me. Like, I've been taking it in the teeth, and that's okay. It just is. It's okay. It's all part of this learning process, and it's all part of getting better and growing and becoming this full version of myself, and the best version that I can be for both myself and for those girls. So that is all for tonight. I hope y'all have an amazing week. Cheers.